Yeah, my people, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time. I want show on one video, just make a review because a lot of things they go on for this cyberspace, for this social media. And get one video where trained where one woman and her husband, with the woman they use ordinary pants to the dance, with dreadlocks for the both of the head. So a lot of news has been carried out for both of them. They're big Ghanaians, So I was really wondering because according to the news we hear, they say God disappoints them. And they'll be pastor before. So I never see where person go come serve God sincerely. We be say you can't regret or God. I never see who God disappoint before. So because of that word, say God disappoints them. So I was really interested. I can't get interest for the news. So, but a lot of time with the news they come, now Ghanaians they tell it all with their language, Me and I don't understand Ghana, so a lot of people don't still understand Ghana. So I can later see one video of one Jenny's blog or so we take carry on with English. So I go want to make we look the video so that we will know what happened between those two people. And they also talk say they lost their 5 children. So a lot of investigation they go on, like on and on. Even police don't go arrest both of them. So really want to know what happened because I never see a person for serve God cry for the ending. Where person for serve God regret him. Many people will say, I go serve feel boy. You not feel serve God, me you can't bite your finger at the end. You must serve God to get a good result. So when they say God disappoints them, I was really interested for the video. So my people make una send the video for the small fact we don't gather so far. So I believe say I will follow up this news because I really get interested. They still lost 5 children and I got to disappoint them. Just my people make una see the video, then we'll come back.
We all remember the Ghanaian pastor that pulled down his church and turned it into a farm and said that Christ disappointed him. That was why he stopped to be religious and he became spiritual. And a lot of Ghanaians actually called for the arrest of this man, God Papa the Greatest, and his wife, Lupita. And the good news is that 2 days ago, this couple were arrested by the police, despite the fact that God Papa the Greatest was saying that it was Kofi that wanted to bring him down after granting interview. The police said they needed to arrest God Papa the Greatest and his wife to give more testimonies, to give more insight into a lot of things they said in their video, especially the issue of how their children died. If we all remember, in one of the interviews, Empress, that is the wife, said that one of their children was going through pain and they needed to end this pain. How did they end the pain? And in another one is that her husband sacrificed one of their children for Ghana, for the country. So what circumstances led to the death of these children? That is what the police want to see. When we made the first video, it made it to look that this man decided to stop following Christ because Christ allowed his children to die. But a lot of revelation has been made during the interview with Kofi TV that is going to send goose pimples to your body. And to the point that a child they declared dead in one of our TikTok videos, Eshar is still alive, and Eshar actually gave his own testimony of what he knew was wrong with his father and his mother. So this is kind of a disclaimer because a lot of things I'm going to say in this video might be scary to you. So if you know you cannot take it, please skip this video. The story we heard was that Empress Lupita is the first child, and she actually ran away from home and came down to the city where she was living and enjoying her life in a hotel before God Papa the Greatest met her and married her. So when they were operating their church, they noticed that the more the husband grew spiritual, the more they were losing members, and they needed to equip the church with members. So Empress traveled all the way from Ghana to Nigeria to seek for power. When she returned from Nigeria, she actually came back with a substance with which she cooked for her husband. And as soon as the husband ate that food, that was the genesis of his problem because he never became normal again. That was the point whereby he pulled down his church, turned it into a farm, secluded the place so that nobody will have access to the compound where they lived. And Empress never stopped to cook for her husband nasty food, which she never tasted in most of her videos. Whenever she's making this food, she's always calling it a new recipe where she was actually cooking with a frog for her husband. And another point, she was actually cooking with a snake. And when this food was being prepared, you will see that it is only the husband, God Papa the Greatest, that will be eating this food, and Empress will not eat out of it. But when the interview was made with Esha, that is the child that they said was dead in one of their TikTok videos. Esha is alive and is an 8-year-old boy, very smart when he was granting interview with Kofi TV team. Esha said that his mother used to prepare evil recipe for his father. And what is this evil recipe? That she was cooking with poop, excrete, that is caca. She will blend it and make the food for her husband. And when she's showing this on TikTok, she's not going to tell you the ingredient in this recipe. It was actually poop that she was using to cook. And by the time the husband will be eating it, she will be forcing the children to eat out of it. It was this maltreatment that got so much that made Esha to run away from home to seek refuge outside. And Esha gave a lot of revelations to what people were thinking, especially the case of sacrificing one of their children to save the country and ending the pain of one of her children when the child was going through pain. Esha said that most of the children that were buried, he used to hear them cry as they were taking them for burial. Does that mean these children were buried alive? Or Esha was hearing this cry in his subconscious mind? Those are the side of the coin we need to put together. Those are the pieces that the police need to join together. Were these people actually sacrificing their children? Were these people actually using their children for ritual? Because they are not working and they built their own house and they have a car. They don't have any business that they do. So the testimony of Esha is a very strong one that people are using to say these couples are into more than what people think. They are not only spiritual, they have gone diabolical. Because going by their pictures, nobody will tell me you were spiritual and you were looking like this. Or you were depressed. Because the initial impression was that they were depressed. They've gone through a lot of things. That depression can lead you to a lot of things. But depression cannot make you to cook and to bury your children alive. These are the pieces that the police are working on. And Esha still said that he was so scared with the parents. That was why he ran away. And when he was asked about the video the mother released that said Esha was dead, happy birthday to my late son Esha. Esha made a comment, said, I am not going to die, but my father will die. If a child can be calling for the death of his father, that means this father must have made this child to go through a lot of trauma. Esha is traumatized. Esha needs prayers. Esha needs to be revitalized back to life because what he went through in the hands of his parent or what he saw. If a mother can be cooking with poop and asking your child to eat out of it, that means this boy saw a lot of things that needs people to come to rehabilitate this person. And when they were arrested, Kofi said that apart from arresting them, churches have come to even help to conduct deliverance on these people. And social welfare has also come to see if there is a way they can help them psychologically because something is not right somewhere. And when the families were being asked, they said they never knew that God Papa the Greatest lost any of his children. What was the mother doing when he left his son alone with the wife? They never loved Empress. They never welcomed Empress because of the testimony they heard that Empress was from the kingdom of darkness to pull down their son. Because they even insisted that it was Empress that traveled to Nigeria to get a substance which he cooked for the son. And the son went from this point as a very handsome man to almost a madman on the street. But that's the only way you can describe him. I must commend Kofi TV for this interview. I must commend Ghana police that acted swiftly to arrest these people. But one thing people are saying is this. They need to search that compound to see how many people has been executed in that compound. Because if Esha could say he heard the sibling crying during burial, that means they might have buried a lot of people in their compound. And that is what people are calling that. The police should go to that compound, search it, and find out if there are more things they are going to find that will help their investigation. But God Papa the Greatest actually is being needed by God for a greater assignment, because God needed him alive. That is why he spread him in spite of all the garbage that he ate from the wife. He ate frog, he ate snake, he ate poop. Those are the few ones that we saw her cook food for him with. How much more the one she didn't show on TikTok? That means, and the more he was eating this, the more he was losing its obsess. And people thought it was love. This is not love, because if people are saying she was sent to destroy God Papa the Greatest, she has already achieved her aim, and God Papa the Greatest is actually going down. Because after the investigation of the police, I know that a lot of things will be revealed. Esha is still with Kofi team. Esha is still giving testimonies of what he knew in the life of his parents. A boy of 8 years old that has gone through this kind of trauma in the hands of his parents and is actually calling for the parents' death. He needs to be revitalized. He needs to be reintegrated into the society. He needs the help of a psychologist. He needs social worker to help him to be able to see the life the way it is and not the way the parents made him to see life. In one of the videos, there was a point where Empress was preparing cassava flakes, that is Gary, for the sibling. And when they asked Esha what was going on, he said that his sibling said he was having stomach disorder. And what the parents could do was to give him that Gary. And that's why they were so scared that they couldn't ask their parents for anything when they were sick. Because he might say that he had headache and they would chop off his head. And before he ran because his life was at risk. He was no longer safe. And that was why he ran away. And how come a mother would declare your son dead, whereas you know your son was missing? That is the point the police are holding on to God Papa the Greatest and Lupita Empress to give their testimonies to it. More stories are still coming. More revelations are still coming. A lot of things are still going to be exposed in this case of God Papa the Greatest and Empress. And on this channel, I'm still going to be enumerating them as I get them from the horse's mouth.
A lot of things they happen where we don't know. Behind the camera, a lot of things they happen. So we need to be very, very careful. We need to be very careful for this social media, for everything in life. In fact, for making money, because the way a lot of us they look for money is too much. We need to be very, very careful. We need to be very, very careful. I beg you, my people. A lot of things they go on. Be careful, be watchful, be vigilant. Nobody to trust. Everybody is a suspect. Just be careful.